welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. You know, if you look at me, I have very little hair. But if you look at my wife, she has the amazing mane of hair. And finding someone to do her hair is probably one of the most difficult things. And I've learned it, how hard it is, with the years I'm with her. With me is Talia Lippy from Hair by Talia.
Yes.
I like to get it at the beginning so I don't screw it up later.
Yes, it's perfectly fine.
All right, why did you get into this industry?
Well, I come from a family of artists.
Okay.
My grandfather was retired military. He was in the Navy. And when he got out, he decided to start making clothing. He started with bathing suits and dresses, among many other things. And I always fell in love with the fact that his clothes were so amazingly beautiful. They were so well done and they lasted for years. And then it kind of carried on because when his brothers, I guess, had retired from the military as well and decided to follow suit, they joined him in that endeavor. And so they decided to make men's clothing, so men's shirts, and they also loved to gamble, so they incorporated like cards like that you play poker with, and then the chips and everything into the decor of the shirts.
Oh,
so
cool.
It was really, really cool and very well done. And so that was really wonderful. And then my father, who is a doctor, is an osteopathic sports medicine doctor, and he loves to paint on the side. And so he kind of being around that got me interested into art. So between my father, who's a doctor, my two uncles who are engineers and love to sculpt and love to work with wood and love to play around with electricity and hopefully not get shocked in the process.
I have been there.
my aunt who can sing. So you can see that artistry runs in my blood.
Right. And if you don't understand, making clothes, that's an art. Hair, art. Okay. Those things are art. So don't think just because you're talking about, well, she's in hair. She's got two parts from her family. You got the artistry of the making clothes within your blood. Mm-hmm. And hair is about fashion, as is clothes.
It is. And what's really ironic about all of that is I can't sew or sing to save my life.
I get to not singing, and I'm pretty sure I get to not sewing, and I hate to iron, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in this and around this for many, many years.
Yes.
So you go to school, I guess?
We have to go to school in the state of Florida for, I believe, 1,200 hours. It was that when I first started going to school, and then it's been 14 years, so I'm not sure if anything has changed since then. But every single state in the U.S. has a different demographic, has a different set of rules and regulations as to how long we go to school for. But in the state of Florida, it's approximately 1 year. However, for me, I graduated about a year and a half later because 4th of July party happened and I got hit in the head with a bottle rocket.
Oh, that's not good.
And I caught it in my left hand, which you won't be able to see today, unfortunately, but I do have burns on all four of my first four fingers, and I do have hidden scars all down my hand. So, with all that being said, I couldn't work and do hair while going to school. So I had to take time off, and I do mostly book work until my hand healed. And so I wasn't able to graduate with my schoolmates.
You know, I was in a fire, so I get the burns.
Mm-hmm.
I had it on my feet, and I couldn't really walk, so I kind of get that. But everything came together a year and a half later, but it came together. Is there different courses for different things within cosmetology?
Yes. We each have a certain list of how many haircuts we have to do and how many colors we have to do. And the coloring includes a single process color or highlighting, bleaching the whole head altogether and then toning it to the color that the client wants, and even just adding multiple colors at the same time. So you're coloring the hair and then you're adding highlights on top of that. So each of us have a certain list of how many items we have to accomplish throughout that year, but we also have separate teaching for that as well. In hair school, I only had 2 days of clipper cutting, and I was not prepared for it at all. I did not know what I was doing with this piece of machinery, and my husband was not, like, he was and he wasn't a guinea pig at the same time. And so what I did was I actually made friends with the barber instructor, and he helped me to gain more confidence in what I was doing. He would stay with me after school, and then I also had talked to my husband to finally letting him be my guinea pig, so that I was able to learn what to do. Now, I'm a very visual learner, so I watched also a lot of videos, and that I found really, really helped me to nail down what I was doing wrong and how to do better.
But you got your license, and everything that I hear uses the word meticulous when it comes to you, okay, including from you. And, you know, it's interesting because, like, I'm pretty handy. I can do a lot of things. But I would be very nervous working on someone's hair because if it gets done wrong, I would feel terrible. When I was a kid, when summer came, school was out, crew cut. I cried for weeks. Cried for weeks with the crew cut. And I could yell at my mother now, thank God she's still alive, because all that hair she cut off, I was losing it. I could have used it. I could still use it.
Oh, goodness.
Let's talk about color. So, I know a little bit about a lot of things. I know there's, for lack of a better scenario, 3 kinds of colors. There's the instant color that washes out with a wash, temporary that might last a week, 2 weeks, and then permanent color. Is the process to use them the same?
Yes and no. For permanent color, it requires, of course, the actual dye itself with an activator. And the different levels, there's, as of now, which is more of the most popular, up to 4 levels that one can use in activators to mix with the hair dye. So you have a 10 volume, which acts like it's basically turns a permanent color into almost like a toner, almost like a temporary color, because it's not lifting the dye.
Okay.
It's just kind of depositing it into the follicle, but it's not going to go very far into it.
Okay.
And it'll lift it basically 1 level lighter or 1 level darker in the color. Now, if I have someone come in with, say, like a level 7 hair, which is essentially like a medium to dark blonde, and someone wants to go level 10, which is almost like a bleach blonde, I would be able to put a level, close to about a level 10 color on there with a 40 volume and see, where it comes up.
Okay, so, and I'm going to say this because I think this is an important piece. You could go to the store and buy yourself hair dye, and then when it comes out orange, you're going to end up going back to Talia anyway. Okay? How many people come to you after they've tried to do it themselves?
More than I care to count for.
And when in the long run, it costs them more, plus a lot of aggravation. One of the trends now, which gets me, and I can't figure, is young girls dyeing their hair gray.
Yes. From someone who actually has gray hair, I understand the struggle that a lot of women go through. It makes perfect sense to me why they would want to do that. It still is a mind blower to myself why that is suddenly becoming a trend. A lot of that is becoming a trend because the grays are coming in faster than they would like.
I earned all these grays. These are mine. They go with my wrinkles. What's interesting is that doing that and taking someone's hair that, because they're young and they still don't have a lot of grays or maybe no grays, doing that to someone's hair is really damaging the hair, I would think, or damaging to the hair.
Yes, depending on how dark the hair is. For someone whose hair is as dark as mine, yes, it is a process. Your hair will be orange. You'll look like Bill's little clown for quite some time. Until we're able to get your hair light enough to almost be as white as your basic wall.
Wow.
Before we're able to even deposit the gray on there. And then once the gray is on the hair, you have to keep coming back every 4 weeks, every 4 to 6 weeks to get it touched up.
So that's a permanent thing. So basically, the reason you have to get it touched up is because if you go like this, you're going to see the roots are going to be dark again.
Not necessarily. If the person has gray hair naturally, then they won't see that. But the gray color itself will keep fading. However, if they have hair dark like mine naturally and they just want to go gray as per the trend, then yes, they would have to keep coming in to get it rebleached and then retoned.
So when you say rebleach, to me, that seems like you're damaging your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So for me, it's like, trust me, gray will come. You don't need to push it. It will be there one way or the other. Okay? So I thought it was a really ridiculous trend. And then in learning a little bit, I found out that permanent hair coloring is permanent, meaning it will grow out. It doesn't fade away. It doesn't. It is what it is. So that's why they'll go, oh, look at my roots. My roots are coming in and they'll be darker. Okay, we're getting to the top of our time. How do people find you? You have a website?
Yes, you can find me at talialippy.glossgenius.com. It's a booking site. You will see a little biography about myself, as well as my list of prices for all the services that I offer. I offer a total of 28 services, from hair cutting to coloring. I even do perming.
Someone said that that's coming back.
It is coming back.
Kill me now.
And although I've only done 2 since I've been in my salon.
It's interesting because what you have is you have people with straight hair want curly hair, and people with curly hair want straight hair. We always want what we don't have. It's so weird.
I prey on your insecurities.
Okay, you have a phone number for this to call?
My actual personal phone number, which is 954-562-5808.
And where are you located?
I'm located in Vero Beach, right off of Miracle Mile.
Everybody, don't be foolish. Use a professional. And it's more than just in the hair salon industry. It's in every industry. Use a professional. We go to school. We learn this. Just because you see something on TV, it doesn't mean it's the way to go. I would be embarrassed if I walked out with my hair orange. Okay? And you're not the first person that's told me stuff like that. With that, everybody, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. Check Talia out. And with that, we'll be right back